What's happening, everyone? Welcome to Gameball NFL Endzone, where the football season never ends. I'm Marcus Young, Genius Jenkins.
I'm Michael Riley.
All right, and we're going to get into the official recap of the top four matchups from last weekend during the NFL season, starting with the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings ending in a tie for the second week in a row, mind you.
A tie.
A tie.
That's never happened before in NFL history. 2 weeks in a row to begin the season, games end with a tie.
And that score would be knotted at 29 apiece. The second matchup, the Kansas City Chiefs. Them Chiefs will pull it off in impressive fashion, mind you, in Pittsburgh by a score of 42-37. Patrick Mahomes? Anybody? Patrick Mahomes? Okay. We're going to get into that. No, it's only week 2, but just saying. The New England Patriots, granted, give them a pass. I say give them a pass because it's only week 2. But with that being said, they will fall to the Jacksonville Jaguars by a score of 31-20. And Mike's favorite team, he just doesn't want to admit it, but they would defeat the New York Giants. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, Cowboy Nation, you may stand up on this one. They would be victorious.
You may sit down.
They would win by a score of 20-13. That is the Dallas Cowboys. Now we're going to jump into this segment. And there are 4 teams that we're going to talk about that are off to a decent start at 2-0. Mike, we're going to talk about, do we buy or do we sell the hype behind these teams? Starting with the Kansas City Chiefs, off to a 2-0 start. Mike, now we know we've seen starts like this before with Kansas City. Granted, there's a brand new quarterback. It's a lot of changes. Do you buy or sell the Kansas City Chiefs out of start?
As of right now, I am buying the Kansas City Chiefs at 2-0 start. And yes, I was jumping all over them because they passed on Deshaun Watson, but they might have found something in Patrick Mahomes. I'm buying them for now, but when he play against teams with good defenses, like for instance, Minnesota, Jacksonville, the Patriots, and so on, who are consistently at the top 15 level of defenses every year. So we'll have to see how he plays out against that. And also, you got your own divisional rivals, which you play twice a year. It's going to be hard, but we'll see how he progresses. So as of right now, I'm buying into the Chiefs. I'm buying into Patrick Mahomes, a.k.a. Mahomie. That's what I'm calling him.
I like that. All right.
10 touchdowns so far. And no turnovers. He may have one. I'm going to have to check, but he doesn't. No, he has no turnovers, and he's playing good ball. The receivers is playing good ball, especially Tyreek Hill, the cheetah man. And defensively, they got to get better at the secondary. They got to find a way to pressure the quarterback. My biggest concern for the Chiefs is they get big leads and let teams come back. So if they find a way to maintain those big leads and score more points, then they can be lethal, but that's the only problem. They give up big leads after they start off with bigger leads. So as of right now, I'm buying into the Chiefs.
I'm going to add to that quickly. I agree with you. I am buying for right now. And the reason why I'm buying into it, Patrick Mahomes, 10 touchdown passes thus far into the season, which is pretty impressive. 6 touchdowns against the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road, which is impressive. And it's not about what he's doing, it's how he's doing it. If you look at those touchdown passes in those plays, he's making the right plays, but not only that, is he's calm under pressure. He looks cool as a cucumber when he's in that pocket, and he looked like nothing fazed him on the road. So that was very impressive for me. Now, granted, they have the San Francisco 49ers coming into this weekend. I expect them to win on the road. I know we're going to talk about that more in the matchup segment. But then you have a tough October. I mean, the next 3 matchups you have after that, you talk about Jacksonville, you talk about the Patriots as well. They have a tough schedule coming up. They also are on the road at Denver after San Francisco. So, I mean, I'm sold, like you said, on the Chiefs right now. This is going to be a great opportunity to see what Patrick Mahomes is really all about at New England and at Denver. They have Jacksonville at home. They have an interesting October, to say the least, but I would say for right now, I'm buying into it. The second team we're going to talk about is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, Mike, this is an interesting one. Go ahead and break this one down, man.
I'm sorry. I am not buying the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We've seen this movie before from Fitzpatrick. He gets off to the 2, 3, maybe 4-0 start, has very good stats, and then it starts to decline. Then he's a bum. So I do not trust The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I am selling it. I'm selling it everywhere. Pawn shops, loan places, wherever. I am selling the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their defense is playing good, but we've seen this scenario before. So let's not fool ourselves and kid ourselves and jump into the bandwagon. Just pump the brakes. It is Fitzpatrick. He is balling out, but it is Fitzpatrick. So I am not buying the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am selling it. How much you want for it?
I'm selling it as well, and here's why. This is under Fitzpatrick. Jameis Winston's coming back in week 3. Are they going to play the same under Jameis Winston? That's something that we don't know as of yet. This could be something to where how long is Jameis Winston going to be starting at quarterback? That's what I want to know because Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2 games, 8 touchdown passes and 800-plus passing yards. He has a lot of shoes to fill, even though he's a starting quarterback. So this is going to be an interesting week 3. I want to ask you this because this isn't in the matchups. How do you think Jameis Winston's going to fare this weekend?
I don't know. Only time to tell. So when he comes back after week 3 going to week 4, because he's suspended for the first 3 games. So after week 3 going to week 4, we'll have to find out and see. I'm not going to say yet, but after the week 4, then I'll give you a better decision.
All right, I'm going to sell this as well. Maybe discount prices at Walmart. We'll talk about that, but I'm going to sell it. Third matchup, or not matchup, but third team, however, the Denver Broncos. Buying or selling?
As of right now, I am 60% of buying and 40% of selling. 60% the defense. Mm-hmm. The 40%,
of course.
I'm selling the offense. There is Case Keenum's new system and all that, new offense, but they're turning the ball over. They're having too many interceptions, too many fumbles, and too many mental mistakes that is killing them at one point, but they found a way to come back and win the games. They barely sneaked by at home against the Seattle Seahawks. They barely sneaked by against the Oakland Raiders. So the offense has to get fixed. So I am buying the defense 60%. I am selling the offense for 40%. So the offense has to get better because if it don't, you're going to want to that one team to where you're not going to come back squeak by wins from. So as for right now, I'm going to split it 60% the defense of the Broncos, 40% of the offense.
I'm going to say real quickly, I'm going to say I'm leaning towards selling it because they have a tough October as well. I mean, you can't always rely on your defense as well. I mean, you can ask teams of the past, like the Baltimore Ravens, to where sometimes I feel like they did kind of rely on their defense a little too much when it was in its prime. I think this is the same situation with Denver. They're a talented team on both ends, but like you said, they are very turnover prone. I'm going to say right now I'm selling them. I would say how they complete the month of October could potentially change my mind. Mm-hmm. Now this one, I'm not even good on this one. The Cincinnati Bengals, are you buying or selling?
Hell no, I'm not buying the Cincinnati Bengals. I am selling. Marvin Lewis has been the head coach going on 16 years. How many playoff appearances he has? About 7 or 8, and 0 playoff wins. I'm sorry, and you still have a job? I mean, he deserves to be a head coaching, have a head coaching job, but not Cincinnati. I mean, when was Cincinnati front office get the point to where you have to move on? You have to have a new voice. I mean, first 2 weeks they look good, but we see the same story. They start good undefeated, and once they hit that brick wall against a very good team or an off team that got nothing to lose, and Cincinnati loses. So we see the same scenario every other year. And once that happens, they flop. So, no, I am not buying the Cincinnati Bengals as the 2-0. It's going to happen somewhere in the line. They're going to face the team and they're going to lose. So, as of right now, I am not buying the Cincinnati Bengals unless they prove me wrong. If they can win the playoff game, I can gradually buy into it a little bit, but no, I'm not buying the Cincinnati Bengals.
Bidders, name your price because I agree with you. I'm selling this as well because it's the teams that they beat. Number one is the reason why they're 2-0. I'm still not sold on the Indianapolis Colts, and then they beat the kind of the inconsistent.
You mean the Bengals?
Or excuse me, the Bengals. They beat the Colts. They beat the Ravens. I mean, to me, these no disrespect to the Ravens at all, but they're kind of up and down, and it seems like they've been like that since the Ray Lewis days came to an end. These are two matchups that really don't impress me as far as their wins. I'm something just based on the fact that they haven't really played anybody that I would really say would make their resume a good one, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say selling on that one. And that concludes our buy or sell portion of Gameball NFL Endzone. When we come back, we're going to bring you the top 4 matchups heading into next weekend for you to keep your eye on. And, of course, we're going to bring you our predictions. Stay tuned. Gameball NFL Endzone will return.
Don't go anywhere.
What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Gameball NFL Endzone. Of course, with the football season never ends, and we're going to jump things off, of course, with the third and final segment, and that is the top 4 matchups heading into next weekend, as well as our predictions. The first matchup we're going to talk about, Mike, is the New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. What do you like about this one?
NFC South heavyweight fight at its finest. You got the New Orleans Saints. Then you got the Atlanta Falcons, both 1-1. So it comes down to which team has the ball at the end. Which players is going to make plays offensively or defensively. I don't know, but this game always comes down to the wire. It's exciting, and it's hardly any blowout, especially in the NFC South. It is one of the toughest divisions in football. So it's going to come down to which offense or defense or other team makes the plays at the end and which team will have the ball last offensively. So I'm going to go with that.
I can't say nothing else. He broke it down as best as it can get, in my opinion. We're going to jump to the second matchup, kind of discuss a little bit, and that was the San Francisco 49ers. They will be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you like about this one?
The San Francisco 49ers got their work cut out for them. The reason why I say that is because they're going on the road in a very hostile environment. The number 1 loudest stadium in all the sports in America, that is Arrowhead. They beat the world Guinness record many a times for the loudest stadium. So it's going to be very tough. So they have to have a good game plan and execute it. And you got one of the best offensive minds, which is Kyle Shanahan. But we'll see how they'll dial this up. So offensively, you have to score points. And you can't have mistakes. You can't have turnovers. Defensively, you got to find a way to slow down this Chiefs offense, especially Patrick Mahomes since he's been rolling. And also, you have to find out how you're going to neutralize Tyreek Hill and the crew, because Tyreek Hill, he can get by you real quick. He don't even have to run. He'll just jog and still get by you quick. That's how fast he is. And you got to watch out for Travis Kelce coming in the middle, also going outside on a real route. So they have to work cut out for him, but if they can find a way to execute the game plan, offense, defense, and special teams, they'll win this game. Now for the Chiefs, you can't underestimate San Francisco. They can put up points in at will, but you have at the end, but you have to start out fast and finish strong. Defensively, you have to finish strong. You can't give up too many points and find yourself in a dogfight that could potentially go into overtime and could cost you the game at the end. So that's the only problem with the Chiefs is they get off to the big lead and they give it right back towards at the end. So offense, just keep doing what you're doing. Don't change the game plan. Be aggressive. offense is not my concern. The defense is my concern. They hardly get any pass rush here and there, and the secondary is getting beat. They have given up big plays, and even though the Chiefs won, the secondary is my concern. If they can find a way to fix that secondary and jail a little bit, they'll be fine. So those are my biggest takeaways for this game.
49ers and Chiefs live from Arrowhead Stadium this weekend. Be on the lookout for that one. Now we're going to talk about the third matchup, Mike, and that is your boys. Sorry, I got to keep saying this. The Dallas Cowboys, but they will be taking on the Seattle Seahawks, looking to win their second straight.
For the Dallas Cowboys, they're going to a very hostile environment, enemy territory in the 12-man stadium. Even though it's not the same Seattle Seahawks that we once accustomed to seeing, especially that Legion Blue defense, and all of them is departed except for a few players. For the Dallas Cowboys, they have to find a way to move the ball offensively. You can't rely on your running game a lot. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott is going to get his carries, but when it's going to come down to it, you got to make plays in the passing game, and I still don't trust their offense because they do not have no receivers or tight ends to throw it to. So they're got their work cut out for a little bit, but defensively, they find a way to make plays and all that. I still don't trust their secondary. It's still suspect. But if they can find a way to stop Seattle and Russell Wilson from making plays, they'll win this game. Now, Seattle offensively, the line is atrocious. The offensive line is atrocious. Russell Wilson has to run for his life and call 911 or somebody for a suicide note because he's running back in the pocket back and forth. So if the offensive line can find a way to protect Russell Wilson, keep him clean, and get the running game going, they'll be fine. But defensive-wise, it's a question mark because you had all the good players from the Legion of Boom departed, and ever since that Super Bowl loss and that questionable play calling, the Seattle Seahawks has not been the same. So defensively, they got to find a way to gel and make plays. Even though it might not be the same players, but they still can play defense. They still got Earl Thomas. So if you find a way to make plays and not beat yourself, then Seattle has a chance to win at home.
All right, Seahawks taking on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys trying to win 2 straight. Now, the next matchup, this is kind of an interesting one, I think. And this actually might be a kind of a slept-on matchup, I think, in a way. And that is the New England Patriots, and they will be taking on the Detroit Lions. What do you like about this one, Mike?
Well, New England got some work to do because they play poor. They were garbage. I'm a Patriots fan, but I'm going to be real. They play like hot garbage. They make plays on defense. They make Blake Bortles look like the oncoming quarterback. I mean, don't get me wrong. Blake Bortles can play, but to the extent what Blake Bortles are you can get. But the pass rush wasn't there at times. And they did get a turnover, an interception, all that. But the defense has to find a way to stop the run and get after the quarterback, put pressure on the secondary. It was atrocious. I mean, Eric Rowe was benched towards the end of the game because he gave up too many big plays, and as coaches do, and you see why he benched Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl, and Malcolm Butler is having a terrible season so far. That's another team, but they say he's like one of the worst cornerbacks in the NFL after 2 weeks so far. So we'll see how it goes. But right now, for the Patriots, Belichick's going to clean it up, get it fixed. Tom Brady wasn't happy with that performance. Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, was livid with his offensive play. He ripped their heads off, and I don't blame him. So if I'm a Patriots player, you be prepared to embrace Hell Week because Belichick ain't going to play that. Tom Brady ain't going to play that. Even the offensive coordinator is not going to play that. But all said and done, they did require Josh Gordon in a trade from the Browns, a 5th-round pick, which is nothing to them because they got 11 picks overall in the draft, this upcoming draft. This is like the Patriots every year. Low risk, high reward. They're like, you want a 5th-round pick? That's basically like chump change. to the Patriots. So they got Josh Gordon. That's a huge pickup for them. Whether or not is Josh Gordon going to be committed and be that player like he once was in the 2013, he did have his issues with substance abuse and suspensions and all that. But when it comes to that culture in New England, would Josh Gordon be able to adapt the Patriot way? We've seen players in the past that have troubles with the other teams that go to the Patriots and be successful. Corey Dillon, they call him a cancer in Cincinnati. He went to the Super Bowl with the Patriots. Randy Moss, he balled out and almost won the Super Bowl with the Patriots. It comes to show you it's a hit miss, but most of the times the Patriots hit on troubled players from other teams and make other teams look stupid by trading players for a low price of draft pick. So the Patriots have to watch film and find a way to get it together, offense and defense, so they'll win. For the Detroit Lions, woo, they're horrible right now. I don't know any other things to put up for Detroit Lions. Offense, defense, special teams, they're bad. And they got to get fixed. Because if they don't, it's going to be another hellacious game for them, especially against the pissed-off Patriots, the way they lost against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's the worst thing you can never do, though, is always go against the New England Patriots team after a loss. It seems like it never works out for anyone because they have an opportunity to correct it. You know, like you said, they're more than likely going through a ridiculous week of getting screamed at and in practice and game film and whatnot, and they're going to be looking to take it out.
But we also see the same story. The Patriots are not very good in September, but when it comes later on in the season, November, December, once they get it fixed, they always have home field advantage, and they're always either in the AFC Championship game or playing for the Super Bowl.
Can't lie with those facts. And with that being said, we're going to bring it to the predictions for those top four matchups, starting with the Saints and the Falcons. Mike, who you got?
Something tells me go with the Saints, but I'm going to go with Atlanta Falcons. The way they play against Carolina Panthers and they're at home, I expect the same similarity, but at the end, I think the Falcons would make more plays offensively to win the game. And Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator, is starting to figure out how to use his players as advantage, especially good, talented players. So I'm going to say the Falcons will win a close game, the score of 23-20 against the Saints.
And this is a tough one to decide, honestly, because if Drew Brees...
Now, if it was in New Orleans, I'll pick New Orleans, but Atlanta's at home.
I'm going to say it's going to be a close one, if anything. I will say the Falcons may squeak this one out. I'm going to say it's going to come down to a last-minute score. I'm going to say 28-21. I like the Falcons against the Saints. Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers. Who do you like, Mike?
I like the Chiefs at home. And I like what Patrick Mahomes is doing so far. Andy Reid's getting them grooving the offense, and their defense has to find a way to play better. But I feel like the Chiefs will win at home, and especially you got the offensive weapons. So I'm going to say the Kansas City Chiefs win the score of 34-20 at home against the Niners.
I agree with you. I just think it's just going to be too much Kansas City. This is not a team that the San Francisco 49ers want to get into a gunfight with. They just have too many weapons offensively. If they can continue to also add Kareem Rush into, he had 74 yards, I believe, rushing last weekend. If they can find a way to get him involved and also get him into the end zone a couple times, I just feel like they're just too stacked. And they're at home in Arrowhead in front of a crowd that just saw their starting quarterback run a clinic in Pittsburgh last week. I like this honestly, I think it's going to be a wide margin of a win. I'm going to say they're going to win 35-14 in Arrowhead before they get their first true test on the road in Denver. Third matchup, the Dallas Cowboys, Seattle Seahawks.
I'm not picking the Dallas Cowboys. I still don't trust them. And Dallas Cowboy fans, I'm still talking smack to y'all wherever you are. You better not be hiding and all that. I'm going to put an APB on y'all for that. And y'all the bad luck to be making. But I'm going to pick the Seattle Seahawks to win a close one at home, score of 13-10. Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Seahawks. Part of me almost wants to say Dallas, but I want to say the Seahawks because I think they will find a way to get it done at home. I'm just still not sold on the consistency of Prescott and Elliott as of yet. When they can actually show that they can be consistent, then we can maybe have a different conversation. But I think they'll get it done at home. I think it will be a close one. I'm going to say 28 to 21 on this one. I like the Seahawks. The final matchup: Patriots Lions. Who you got?
I'm not going against the Patriots. If they lose a bad game, they turn around and demolish their opponent in the next game or beat them by a slim margin. It always happens, and we see the same thing again. But it's going against the Detroit Lions, the depleted Detroit Lions. So I'm gonna say they'll walk all over the Lions. The score of 34-14.
I'm gonna agree with you. To tell you the truth, deep down, I don't even think the Lions will pick the Lions against the Patriots. Let's be honest. It's the Lions against the Patriots. The Patriots are coming off a loss. They're going to stomp the Lions. That's all there is to it. I mean, I can't see anybody. I don't know a living soul right now that's around me that would pick somebody the Lions over the Patriots. No, I'm good on that. I'm going to say they're going to come through. They're going to handle business. I'm going to say they're going to get them 35. I'm going to say I don't even know if they're going to score 14. I might be just giving them some props by giving them 14 points, but I'm going to say 35-14. I'm going to say the Patriots get this done. They're going to stomp on them. And that's going to get it done for this edition of Gameball NFL Endzone.
You can follow our podcast, Facebook. You can email us. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Go to the clothing website at tokendesignsTopeka.com/Gameball. Gameball, that's TOAKAN. That's token, excuse me for the spelling. That's TOKAN. TokenDesignsTopeka.com/Gameball. Like, subscribe, hit a thumbs up, hit a thumbs down on our YouTube page as gck.gnfletv. You can follow our social media. The links in the descriptions will be down below. And see you next time on Gameball NFL Endzone.
Salute.
I'm Michael Riley.
I'm Marcus Young, Jr.
Have a safe, blessed night, and be good. This is Gameball College Kickoff, where the football season never ends. Peace. We are out.